Yo, what is up, Pokemon people? 9 out of Ben back here on Derium's Pokemon. Alright, today we are back on the channel. I had to take an extended absence due to a bunch of different scenarios going on in my personal life. I had so much going on that I honestly was just super distracted. Didn't have much time to even stream over on my Twitch channel or anything, but we're finally back. I should have been back last Friday, but guess what? I accidentally fell asleep early. That's my fault. That's on me. Anyways, we're back here today with the World Championship winning deck from DC here this past weekend. I hope you all were watching, but yeah, we have a full deck tech here and a full deck list so you guys could have to play and test for yourself, but we'll do a few games of it ourselves here. If you guys have not seen this deck be played, where were you at this weekend? I'm kidding. Anyways, this deck is very amazing and I love it. It's a concept that I've been playing for a long time with Marshadow, but it takes a new take with the new card Mewtwo and Mew, one of the most popular and most expensive cards from the newest set. So it has this ability Perfection, which literally makes it the perfect deck. Who would have guessed? This Pokemon can use the attacks of any Pokemon GX or EX on your bench or your discard pile. So, this means it's very versatile, and of course, with amazing cards like Welder to speed up the attachment, this deck is insane. Alright, so we do, if you saw or noticed before, we do play 3 Psychic Energies and then 8 Fire. 8 Fire is so you can Welder and attach very quickly. The 1 Psychic is so you can attack with 1 to I think 3 different Pokemon. I believe it's Latios GX, Naganadel GX, and Espeon Deoxys GX. And if you have to, this one, but hopefully you're not attacking with Jirachi. Maybe at the end of turn 1 you decide to Star Search, I guess, maybe. Maybe Star Shield? I don't know, but that's not what you usually want to be doing. Anyways, the main Pokemon in this deck that you will be attacking with is Reshizard. Of course, that's one of the big ones. Reshizard is its own deck archetype, so of course it deserves at least 1 spot in this deck. Flare Strike is just too much damage to bear. You have to play it in this deck. Any deck that plays Welder, except for Blacephalon, of which we might be doing a deck tech on next week. That was the second place deck by Shintaro Ito. So this should obviously be an inclusion, especially with Perfection being able to copy it. Alright, the next Pokemon that we have here is Solgaleo. It is colorless attacks only, and remember, it can use the attacks of stage 2s as long as they're a GX and they're in the discard pile. That means it is absolutely busted, absolutely broken. You can use a basic to use the attacks that you would normally have to evolve for 1 to 2 turns, usually 2 turns, but 1 turn with a rare candy. This is just an insane deck. But you can do Turbo Strike for 2 energy. 2 energy for 120 is an absolute insane level of damage output for just 2 energy, especially double colorless. Of course, DCE was usually what was used with this before rotation, but after rotation, Welder on a Mewtwo, and then Turbo Strike turn 1 to get 2 energies from the discard and put it on your bench Mewtwo? Absolutely insane turn 1. If you have not already double blazed or attacked with Tag Purge, that's obviously your first turn attack most of the time. Anyways, moving on, we also have Cobalion GX. A lot of people question this card as a tech in this deck, but I know the power of this card. I am someone who's been playing a box deck for a very long time over in Expanded using Marshadow Toolbox, and I know the power of this GX move. Yes, we didn't play any Rainbow Energies, or I guess he didn't. The world champion, I forgot his name. That's so bad. I'll put a little graphic here for that. Yeah, Iron Rule GX. During your opponent's next turn, their Pokemon cannot attack at all. There is no way around it. You cannot attack the following turn. So Iron Rule is just really, 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 really good if you're behind. No one saw him use it on stream because, of course, when he was on stream, he was winning because he won the World Championship. So, of course, he didn't use it while behind. But if you ever get behind, guess what? You can always use that Iron Rule GX attack to make sure that you last at least one more turn. Maybe you were trying to like weld her up to a Reshizard attack and you just can't get there, and there's no way you can take a knockout on them. Maybe you're both at 3 prize codes left, right? And there's no way you can take an attack on them that would knock them out, and they guaranteed knock you out the following turn. That's where you play Iron Rule. So you play Iron Rule in a situation where both people are 1 attack away, but you don't have enough energy. You attach and you Iron Rule GX, and in the following turn you can do something like a Flare Strike, or you can use this Macargo with Lava Flow. 50 plus 50 times the amount of basic energy discarded from this Pokemon. So you have to have Double Fire and a colorless attached, but you can get 50 plus 50 per energy discarded. A lot of people will think this reminds them of Blacephalon, but guess what? It's even better because it goes to the discard of which you can get them back. Blacephalon sends it to the Lost Zone. Thus, Macargo is technically a better attacker so long as you can keep the energy on. And a very good way to do that, of course, is going back to Solgaleo with Turbo Strike for 120 attached to basic energy codes from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. So you can obviously see there's a bunch of different combos in this deck. And then, of course, you have the Naganadel GX here. This is your key way to close out games. Discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. This does 170 damage to any one of your opponent's Pokemon. 99% of the time, you are targeting down this little guy right here. We played 3 of them because they're amazing support Pokemon, but they're very low in HP comparative to the rest of the GXs. It has 160 HP. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench, you may discard your hand and draw 6 cards. This is very good for our deck because we get Pokemon and energy into the discard, so we can get use the attacks, or we can get the energy back later with Fire Crystal, or use Turbo Strike to get the energy from the discard pile onto our bench Mewtwo. This card's just great. Like, every single deck should be playing at least 2 of these unless they're playing greens. It's not a debate. It is basically the new Shaman EX if you guys were around back in that day. Alright, and now the last Pokemon that we must discuss, actually second to last, I apologize, is Latios GX. Tag Purge 120 during your opponent's next turn. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks of Tag Team Pokemon. This is obviously the number 1 attack you want to be using against some of the top meta decks in the format right now. I believe Reshizard stops damage from Reshizard. They could only attack with Volcanion, which is amazing because Volcanion only has 120 HP. If you just Tag Purge the whole game, you should easily be able to win. So you Tag Purge, and then maybe like after they attack you with Volcanion twice, you can use the Miraculous Duo GX. I'll explain that in a minute. So you can just Tag Purge for the whole game. Another deck that this is a really good counter to is Pikachu Zekrom. They don't really attack with anything other than PikaRom and Choo-Choo GX. Choo-Choo being Alolan Raichu and Raichu GX. They could attack with Zeraora, but you could pretty much, again, heal with Miraculous Duo and one-shot that Zeraora, and then they pretty much just lose from there. And then the last Pokemon we want to discuss here is Espeon in Deoxys. So I was kind of questioning this card in this deck list, but hey, he's the world champ. I'm not going to say I'm world championship level, although I will be going for my world's invite for the first year ever for me next year. So we'll see how that works. Maybe we'll do a little series on Ben's chase for world championship or something like that. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that sort of vlog style video. Anyways, Psychic Club 10 plus. This attack does 30 more damage for each of your bench Psychic Pokemon. Again, I don't think this is super powerful. Let's say you even had a full 5 Pokemon on your bench that were Psychic. That's 160 damage. It's okay. Psychic Club, but the main reason why I think this is in the deck is because Cross Division. Put 10 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. If this Pokemon has at least 3 extra, which is very easy to do in this deck, you can put 20 damage counters on them instead. I think this was to mainly counter single prize Pokemon decks, which can very easily somewhat take down Mewtwo. You can't use Latios. You can't really use Naganadel because 170 anywhere isn't going to really hurt them as bad. You still only get 1 prize. Big damage with Lava Flow or Reshizard isn't going to get you anywhere either, really. So I'm thinking the main way you beat one prize Pokemon deck is with Turbo Strike. That way you can set up multiple Mewtwo's. Every single time a Mewtwo gets knocked out, you can just set up another one with Turbo Strike. And then, of course, your final attack in the game should be Cross Division GX. 20 damage counters among, let's say, 4 Pokemon that are one prizers should at least get 3 knockouts, typically. Should at least get 2 to 3 knockouts. That can really even up the prize trade for you. So I believe that's why he included Espeon Deoxys. I never got to see it get used against a one prizer deck. That's because most of the decks in the top 8 or anytime I saw this deck on stream were facing tag team decks, which is why it was so successful. It was very successful in countering the meta, and it was very successful at dishing out large amounts of damage when it needed to. Alright, let's get into a trainer base. We'll go through this really quickly, and then we'll get into some games. Alright, 4 Acrobite digs through your deck, of course. 4 Cherish Ball digs out all your Pokemon, of course. 4 Custom Catchers, definitely needed. Playing 1 is very underrated. I think a lot of people did it to draw into exactly what they needed this tournament. I believe Shintaro Ito did it twice in the top 8 to advance him forward almost. And playing 2 cards and switching out one of your opponent's bench Pokemon definitely ended up in a lot of game wins in this specific tournament for Worlds. So easily 4 of inclusion. Alright, then we have an Electromagnetic Radar. It's only a 1 of, but it's a very vital and important 1 of. There are a lot of times where he drew, or I drew, I've been playtesting with this deck as well, drew into Electromagnetic Radar in order to get a Day-to-Day and refresh my hand of full 6 cards and be able to continue going from there. Fire Crystal as a 1 of, I think this should be a 2 of, but hey, we're playing the world's winning deck and, you know, he probably knows better than I do. So we're playing 1 of those. Of course, it gets Fire Energy back from the discard, so you can discard them with Giant Hearth, Hearth, I don't know, in Viridian Forest, and then you can get them back later when you need them with a Welder. 3 Mysterious Treasure, very obvious play here, gets you the Marshadow. Now, this is something I didn't discuss. Resetting Hole, you just basically put it on your bench, and the ability lets you discard it, and it gets rid of a Stadium in play. This is your main counter to Power Plant. It is a must include. Alright, and then we have Pokegear. Of course, you're only playing 4 Welder and 2 Bills. I don't know how much I like the Bills versus something like Cynthia or Lily, but again, he's the champ. I'm not. We're just going to play it how it is, and I think it is good. I think this can definitely get you into some cards. Maybe you have an attacker in your hand that you can't bench because it's a stage 1 or stage 2, and you need to be able to discard it. You don't really care about drawing that turn. You just need to discard something from your hand, or you need to find a specific item like a custom catcher to win the game. Bills is very, very good at doing that. You don't need to draw cards. You just need to dig as deep as you can and find one specific card. Bills is very good at that. So that's why he included it. Of course, Giant Hearth lets you discard Pokemon from your hand, or anything from your hand if you don't have a Pokemon. Get yourself 2 Fire Energies to get that Welder, and of course Viridian Forces, discard a card from your hand and get another energy. Now, one thing I was kind of curious about, I guess Viridian Forest was because he wanted a Viridian Forest so he could get 1 Psychic if he needed it. I'm kind of a little bit more curious on why he didn't play 4 Giant Hearth, or he didn't play 2 Viridian Forest and 2 Giant Hearth. I don't know. But again, he's a champ. We're not going to question it. We're just going to play his deck and enjoy it. Alright, so with that being said, I am in love with this deck. I know there's 1 or 2 cards that we question here and there, but trust me, this deck is solid. And it's it's a box deck, so you can kind of change it how you want it. Change it accustomed to your playstyle. I know I would go a little bit more control. I'd want to switch out those Psychic for Rainbows and maybe throw in an Altaria. That way, turn 1, you can lock them on not being able to attack you with any GX, not just tag teams, because all tag team cards are GXs. So that would completely lock out something like PikaRom. That would completely lock out other decks like the Mirror Match. Let's say if Mewtwo and Mew, you were playing a mirror match and somehow they were able to get, like, I don't know, do they even, Latios is a good example. If they started attacking with Latios, there would be a very easy response in that you could prevent damage from the Latios with the Altaria, where you wouldn't be able to prevent that damage with a Latios itself. So that's sort of like another thing I would add. But again, This is just the world's winning deck, and I do like it a lot. I've play tested it a lot. I don't think I've lost very many games. A lot of games that I have lost are due to my personal misplays, not really something that I think the deck is wrong for. So let's get into the game. I'm sorry for that lengthy explanation, but it is a very complicated deck, and I want to make sure every single person who watches this understands why each and every card is in the deck. So let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, game number 1. It looks like we're up against a deck with Lightning and Psychic. I would assume this is probably PikaRom. I don't know what the Psychic Mon would be, but it's probably Mewtwo and Mew. I've seen some PikaRom lists be running Mewtwo and Mew just to counter the Mewtwo and Mew decks, or at least possibly get in weakness in the early game. So this is definitely a possibility. So I think that's the deck we're up against. So we need to immediately start thinking, where is this Latios? We need this Latios. We need to be able to counter this deck. We need to be able to prevent them from dealing any damage at all. Of course, going first, this deck is very good about being able to go first or second at any given point. I really like that about this deck. Starting Espeon and Deoxys is not the best start for this deck, but it's also not the worst. I mean, they could take 3 prizes, and we don't really care, as long as at the end of the day we can prevent them from doing any damage to us for the remainder of the game. And then Miraculous Duo, I remember I forgot to exactly explain what that was, but it's basically 200 damage, and if you have 1 extra energy, so 4 energy total, 2 Psychic, 2 Fire, or 3 Psychic, 1 Fire, you can, or 4 Psychic, but we only play 3 in this deck. If you do that, we can very easily just wipe all the damage off the board completely, which is absolutely insane. So I want to go Giant Hearth here. I don't think we need anything else. I think this is just a straight up day-to-day hand. I don't want to go Bill's Analysis this early, especially with no way to get energy out or any Pokemon that we want. Here is a Cherish Ball. That is huge for us. We can go Mewtwo and Mew. We can start setting this up. Latios is in the hand already. So I was correct when we assumed this would be PikaRom. And the Psychic is Dawn Wings. That makes a lot of sense. Dawn Wings, I actually really, really, really like it in this sort of deck list. I really, really think it's a good card to have. We are probably going to get rid of a Welder here. Go ahead and grab myself 2 energy. And then, of course, play our second Welder here. Now, debate there was, should I get rid of Giant Hearth? But I don't think we should. Well, now it looks like we should have. But, of course, we can never know what we're going to draw. I personally really like having Latios on the bench instead of the discard. It's a free retreat Pokemon, so you can always play a switch into it and free retreat back out. But, of course, I wanted to keep the Giant Hearth for the prize trade, just in case he ends up going absolutely insane this turn, somehow gets attack off with the Stadium Thunder Mountain that lets you attack for 1 less. I think that's a really good idea for him to go for. There it is, the Thunder Mountain. That is exactly why we kept the Giant Hearth in our hand. Of course, we drew into our 3rd one. That's okay. It kind of sucks. It's something that we have to kind of live with, of course. But I think we'll be in good hands after this turn. It looks like he will be going for a Didaday and possibly a Zera Aura here. I am a little bit confused as to why he attached energy in the back. Usually you always want to manually attach to the front Pokemon because there's no way to cheat energy on with Tapu Koko, and you're going to have to waste a switch to get that out of the active anyways, unless he just plans to let me knock it out, which is, it's a plan. I mean, some people are like, hey, I'm going to let you knock out the Dawn Wings so you don't knock out my PikaRom. My PikaRom comes in fresh and gets a really easy and simple attack in on your Mewtwo without you being able to do anything. I can kind of see that, but I also don't like it. I think PikaRom really needs to attack as fast and as strong and as hard as it can. There's no real debate about that. All right, we're going to draw 1. I don't like that. We're going to probably go for a second Didaday here. So we definitely need to find a switch, and we need to find a Psychic Energy. That way we can start getting this lock in immediately. He only really has that sort of stuff to attack with. All right, so the idea here is Giant Hearth might be the play. That way we can thin the deck and Pokegear into a Welder in order to draw into a switch. I don't know if Acrobike before or after Pokegear is better. I'm going to say before because it digs deeper into the deck for the potential Pokegear. I think we want the Viridian just in case he has the power plant. With my bench full at this exact moment, I don't like being in a spot where, oh, we missed. All right. So I think the play is energy up front and pass and let him go after the Espeon Deoxys if he decides to. We can always, again, retreat in Miraculous Duo in 1 to 2 turns from now and be completely okay. Again, that's something you really want to watch out for. Power Plant, not very likely to be played by him. He is playing Didays and Mew3s and Zeraoras and Dawnwings, but you always want to have a counter for Power Plant. Power Plant is the #1 card that beats this deck. Reason is you always rely on the perfection ability. This Mewtwo doesn't have an attack aside from its GX move. If you already use your GX move in a game, there's no way to attack with that Mewtwo and Mew if they have Power Plant in play. So you always want to have a replacement stadium. Also, I think Viridian is a good idea to have in this scenario because we can actually Giant Hearth, grab 2 more fire energy, and then also replace Viridian, discard 1 of the fire energies for a psychic energy and start being able to attack with the Latios here as well. So that's another thing that plays into this here. I don't like the fact that I cannot retreat if I don't attach up front, but I also can't set up a way to do anything else. So I think the play is we're going to discard here. We're going to miss on purpose. We're going to Viridian. We are going to maybe discard on purpose and attach the Psychic and maybe try to draw with the Custom Catcher. I'm okay with them missing Espeon Deoxys in order for us to further our goal of trying to... Oh, okay, well, this is our 4th Custom Catcher, so we gotta remember that we don't get any of that for the rest of the game. This is not looking too great for us right now. I think the smartest idea is to just pass. He might not play Custom Catcher at all. I know some PikaRom lists would not playing Custom Catcher this weekend, so that is something we do want to watch out for. It is an interesting matchup, though. If we can get into the active and make sure that we can Latios infinitely, we should be fine. Now, one thing we cannot let happen, we cannot let him knock out Espeon and Deoxys, and then also be able to tag bolt for something like Didaday. The reason being is if they go down the 1 prize card left, that puts them in a very good spot to just be able to completely beat us with just 2 Custom Catchers. We don't ever want that to happen. That is never the right play for us. So it's looking like he is going to go for that, though. But that also puts him in a really bad spot. If I happen to, let's say, top deck a Welder next turn, Viridian Forest, and use Reshazard to do 300 damage, and then he can't really make a comeback off that. I don't think that would be the best play for him. So Tag Purge does get those 2. He actually ended up going for the Latios for 170. That's okay. I'm not the biggest fan of that play. Because I can just use the Latios anyways. But I guess the Latios does have free retreat, where the Didaday is just useless on my bench. But also, decks have been known to run a scoop up lately. So we can see. Also, I get to drop down the Jirachi for the weakness. So that's awesome now. What do we want to do here? So this is one of the crucial points in the game where it's like, do we go for a 3rd Didaday and draw some cards? I see no downside to at least checking what's left in the deck with the Cherish Ball and considering the Didaday play. There is no Didaday in the deck. It is in the prize cards. We do need to try to find a way to get prize cards this turn, or else we're going to be in a really bad spot. I don't know if Macargo is the right way to do it, though. We're definitely in a tough situation at this point in the game. We're going to discard Macargo. We're going to grab the Psychic. We're probably going to play the Psychic down, and we are going to probably just tag Purge. I don't know if we win this game or not at this point. I know this deck list didn't play anything that would shuffle their hand into their deck. I am unaware of any scenario where we could do that. But also at this point, we have to be very careful of the fact that he can just start walking towards Zeraora at any given time. I also think I might have misplayed. I think the misplay was that Psychic should have went up here. That way, in case he attacked with Zeraora, I did have a backup way to knock out Zeraora and clean my Mewtwo Mew of any damage. I'm not sure if that's the right play, but it certainly seemed like it possibly was. Double Blitz doesn't seem like the right play. Again, it's just looking like Tag Purge at this point, and it's kind of scary because I think he has energy switches left. We should definitely be playing a reset stamp in this list, it looks like. But also, again, this is probably something where it's like leaning towards one of my misplays. I don't think the list is necessary to blame for this loss versus just me. I'm not always the best at making decisions. So switch, alright, cool. I'm definitely not any Mahone, although I do plan on going to Worlds next year, so we'll see how that turns out. But I'm definitely not a Mahone. So we are looking into Tag Purge. Does seem like the correct play here. Now if he gets a tag switch off the top of the deck, I don't know what we do from there. Because he can just attack with Zeraora twice and just win the game from there. So I think that's the biggest worry here at the moment. I think he has 2 tag switch in the disco. No, it's just 1 tag switch and an E switch. So 1 tag switch could definitely hurt me at this point. And I think he is thinning the deck in order to get to that. It would make a lot of sense if he was thinning the deck to get to that point. He's probably going to retreat into a Dedede here. I don't know what the right play is here, though. Because if we do, maybe knocking that out is not a bad idea. So let's think about this. If we were to knock this out this turn, he would be able to come in with Mewtwo Mew, copy any attack, which I don't see any attackers in his discard pile. He could copy any attack at this point and be okay. We do have Jirachi out here, so we're fine on that front. If he has custom catchers, he wins the game no matter what anyways, because he can just E-switch and knock out Dedede very easily. I think the idea is we definitely should be knocking out this PikaRom this turn. Now that we have guaranteed energy in our hand for the following turn, and we can discard 2 and still be able to tag purge the following turn, I think the idea is we should be using... Where's it at? Is it in here? Do we not have it yet? I don't think we have it out yet. Alright, let's go grab it real quick. Yes, Naganadel GX. So Naganadel GX is the right play here for sure. I think getting rid of 2 fire energies doesn't hurt us much here because we'll still have 3 at the end of the turn. We'll still 1 energy attachment away from being able to attack with any attack we want in the deck, with the exception of being able to do the extra damage on Double Blaze. So I think that's the play. Venom Shot seems like the play to be able to get rid of this PikaRom, take 3 prizes, and be 1 step closer to finishing off this game. And I believe at this point, we're in a situation where we could probably win the game if we get a fire energy off these prize cards. Welder is huge. Okay, if this is a fire energy, we can win the game next turn. Oh, it's not. Okay, so I believe the idea is he's gonna retreat, try to attack with Mewtwo and Mew. Most likely, that's what he's gonna go for here. Dedede is dangerous here because he could very easily use Custom Catcher. Oh, so he's going for the Choo-Choo play. All right. So we might see a situation here where he is able to paralyze us with the Mewtwo and Mew. Now, that's dangerous for us because we won't be able to really have a response. But I think we'll be able to win the game this next turn. The big play here is we have Switch. We have energy to retreat with. We have Double Switch now. We can just Welder and attack with, I believe, Macargo to win the game. So I think we have it here if I didn't miss math at all. This is 5 energy we are discarding with Macargo plus the 50, which is even better than initially seen by cards like Blacephalon. So we got Lava Flow, we discard 5 energy, and that should be 300 damage for the game. It is indeed, and we take the game. That is why Tag Purge is so important. It stops them just long enough to force them into a situation where they do not get to attack, and that causes a win against the PikaRom deck. All right, on to game number 2. I will see you guys in a second. All right, game number 2. Let's see what we are up against. This one looks like we're up against Malamar plus Naganadel, possibly? We'll see. We'll see. It looks like colorless Pokemon, which is Ditto usually, and Dragon Pokemon and Psychic Pokemon. So I would assume it's Malamar plus Naganadel, which was a deck at the World Championships this weekend. I don't believe it did super well. It might have saw 1 or 2 top 64 decks. Don't kill me if I'm wrong. Don't criticize. I don't have everything. I haven't processed in all the information yet. I'm really just focused on the top 8 decks as of right now. Let me know down in the comments what top 8 deck you guys want to see next. Maybe next Monday or Friday or something like that, we will do another top 8 deck. All right, this is looking very good. All right, Latios, Inkay, this is what I'm expecting. This is exactly what I'm expecting. All right, cool. We have Viridian. We don't want to drop Viridian for them. We do not want to give them any sack outlets. Let's see. So, I accidentally played Cherish Ball instead of Acrobike, and now we have to figure out what we do from here, because Acrobike should have definitely been first, and that was a misplay. Not really a misplay, more of a misclick. So what's going to win us the game here? Latios is going to stop us with Tag Purge. We need to start thinking about alternate attackers. I think our own Latios is the smartest play to go with here. So I think Latios is the start, and we should just grab it and then Welder and see where it takes us. So that would probably be the right play. We're going to Welder to dig into the deck a little bit, see how we go here. We're probably going to attach onto the Latios this turn. I don't hate that play. Pokegear misses. We do have Didaday. We do have Viridian Force as well. There's another Didaday. There's another Energy. I don't know. We have Bills. We don't have anything else. I don't want to get rid of a custom catcher. Didaday would cause us to discard a Didaday anyways. So I think this might be a bad play. But I actually want to Viridian Forest this turn. Get rid of custom catcher because we're not... Oh, no, Bill. Grab us a Psychic Energy. Put it onto Latios. And set us up for maybe a scenario where we top deck a custom catcher up the Latios. Hard retreat, Didaday, and then try to go for a Welder. In order to knock out that Latios early. That way we get one big thing down that we don't have to worry about. Unless, of course, he plays Mewtwo Mew. Then we have to worry about a lot. Because he's basically playing an alternate version of my list at that point. With Malamars. But Malamars, I don't think are as consistent as Mewtwo's. With Welders. So we'll see how this works out there. Switch. Alright, there's a big switch. Does he have a Welder? No, there's no way he plays Welder. Alright, so it is a Lily. So, what we're looking to go with here is we probably want... We don't even have to top deck custom catcher anymore. He did the work for us. He dropped the Latios back. I don't know what we dig for here other than just Welder plus Energy. Now, I'm thinking what we do is if we attach an Energy before... We don't use Viridian Force. That way, if we did it into a hand with a Welder and no Energy on it, alright, that Mewtwo and Mew is bad news for us, but it is okay. If we top deck a card, we can obviously copy Latios as well. Oh, wait, why am I sitting here trying to come up with a 9,000 IQ play? I can just Viridian Force Psychic, attach it to Mewtwo and Mew, and knock it out. Where's my brain going? Where's my brain going? I'm sitting here trying to, think of way over complex plays. Clear vision. Alright, so we can't use GX moves for the rest of the game, it looks like. That is okie doke by me. So what we're going to go with here is we're just going to Viridian Force this energy away, and we're just going to grab a Psychic Energy and then knock out because we have weakness and also prevent damage from the Mewtwo and Mew the next turn. Capiche? Capiche. Let's go ahead and drop the Didaday. Alright, so we got the dropped Didaday. We have another Welder available to us. We also have a Fire Crystal available to us. I like this a lot because we can set up a Latios potentially for down the road. Let's say if he brings in that Mewtwo and Mew and knocks us out somehow, we can always just go ahead and go with something else. Let's grab Jirachi just so we can play it at an opportune time. So we're going to take advantage of weakness on this turn. Now the question is, will they be able to take advantage on weakness within the next 2 turns? Because that's why I grabbed Jirachi to begin with. I think it's smart to play it within the next 2 turns, potentially. I don't like grabbing another Mewtwo Mew there. It seems like we're fine without it for now. We're protected from this Mewtwo Mew. He has a U-turn board, but that only decreases his retreat cost by 1, so he still has a retreat cost of 1. I don't see him really doing much with that. He is going to load up that Necrozma. Again, we do have weakness on him, but he also has weakness on us, which is a big yikes for us. So it looks like he hard attaches that. I don't know if that was the right play for him, because at this point we're in a situation. Okay, big judge there, big huge judge there, because if he won't be able to retreat this turn. That is the good news for us. We can always make sure that we maybe bill into like double custom catcher, but that would be pretty lucky. That would be pretty lucky. So let's see what the following play needs to be. And a concede. Looks like we had him there. So honestly, it looked like we were just gonna try to counter catcher that Mewtwo Mew for the rest of the game, and we would have been perfectly fine. There was no really good way for them to keep up on the price trade. Even if he was able to get a knockout with that Necrozma, the Latios was going to come in. I would have hit for weakness for the knockout. He wouldn't have really been able to set up anything there, and we would have had the following turn. We would have been able to knock out on Mewtwo Mew. The Latios would have protected from the Mewtwo Mew being able to do any damage, so we would have been fine, and I think that's why they conceded. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for this video. I think I showed everything I wanted to show. The deck definitely feels awkward when you play it. Not really awkward in a bad sense, but awkward in a, oh, I think I'm going to lose this game. And then at the very end of the game, the pieces are just there for you to come back out of nowhere. Like, the custom catchers are there, the Macargo's there, the Reshiram Charizard's there if you need to attack through abilities with the 300 damage if you have 6 fire energy. The Naganadele's there to snipe some Didade's down. The Solgaleo's there to recover energy if you need it. The Iron Roll GX is there if you need to stall for 1 turn. You have so many options that this deck will never really have a scenario of which it's like too late. Unless it's literally your opponent's turn and they can win the game that turn, and they do. Like, if you have 1 more turn in you, it is never too late with this deck, and I think that is the reason why it won Pokemon Worlds. It had a good player piloting it, and it was a deck that could come back from absolutely anything. So that is why this deck won Worlds. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys take this deck list, make it better. Go to the next regional or go to your local card shop and play this deck. Make it better. Do better with it. I honestly believe this archetype has so much room to grow with every single set that releases. Have fun with this. Alright, guys. I will see you guys again in my next video. I don't know what the next video is going to be. I think I have to talk with Derium. I think we're talking about moving me down to 1 video a week. That way I can make sure that whatever content I'm coming out with for you guys is the best content I can create. I feel like the Monday, Friday videos, I felt like the Friday video was always better than the Monday video because I had 4 days to prepare for Friday and only 2 days to prepare for Monday. So I kind of want to find a way to where either we can spread them out more, or I just go down to 1 video a week and I can make you guys amazing content. So let me know what type of content you guys want to see. Do you guys want more stuff like this? Do you guys want competitive stuff? Do you guys want crazy, wacky stuff? Do you guys just want profit or loss for PTCGO? Do you guys want vlogs? I am potentially going to Worlds next year in London. It's going to be expensive, and I'm very scared. But I want to try to at least qualify for Worlds. I want to make myself feel good. This is the first year where I just bought myself a Prius and gets nuts gas mileage. I can get pretty much to any regional in the U.S. for like $200 on gas. If I carpool people from my area, it's like $50 a person. And it's very, very easy to just go to regionals and go to a cheap hotel, eat cheap, because you're not having to eat downtown. You don't have to go to Uber. It's very nice. to know that this is going to be my first year to compete. So let me know what you guys want to see. Do you guys want to see vlogs for like my Ben's Road to Worlds or something like that? Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it until the end, guess what? Secret hidden giveaway. What are we going to give away this time? Let's go look in the magical collection of Ben. I don't know. What are we going to give away? Let's go ahead and give away something cool from Unified Minds. Sadly, I can't give away Mewtwo Mew because, you know, I only have 4 and the deck requires 4. Let's see. And this giveaway announcement will be on the next video. I want you to tell me what your favorite deck from Worlds was, and then you also have to include your PTCGO username. Alright, this is what we'll do. We'll do an Umbreon and Darkrai and a Weavile GX, because I know one of the other good decks from Worlds was Darkbox. I will give you guys 2 of the pieces to Darkbox if you win this random giveaway. Tell me what your favorite deck from Worlds was. Tell me who your favorite player was from Worlds. I know a lot of people were rooting for Tord. I love Tord. He's a great human. But, yeah. Enter that way, and you can possibly win an Umbreon, Darkrai, and a Weavile GX. I will give away 1 of each to, let's actually do 2 lucky winners. I'm going to give 1 of each to 2 different people. There you go. Have fun. That's your reward for sticking it out until the very end of the video. Love you guys, and I will see you guys again next time. Peace.